a new recording studio on the first floor of my building, my house here, and that first floor is playing the Tao Te Ching. But here in my office, we're going to be reading it. But right now, across YouTube on 7, 10 different YouTube accounts, you can see my yoga studio where we're live streaming the Tao Te Ching. We're also about to do all of this live on across multiple accounts. I have a cell phone here whose the backing is like literally warped and bulging, but yet this phone just keeps kicking. I hope it doesn't have any. I am worried about eventually having like some kind of electrical fire or something, but these cell phones are so consistent, and plus they don't, I've never seen one start on fire. I only, vaccines, Borla and the White House, if they could get science as good as they could get software and hardware, I mean, if they could get big pharma to actually do something other than just like make you sick. Can I go live on this one? Congratulations. I need to verify that. Do we have any telephone number? Oh, this is a problem. But that's a good thing. We got a new YouTube Live coming online in 24 hours. Okay, we're getting ready for this. Here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you the Tao Te Ching. Ooh, Mackendall is here. He's a real clubhouse gem. Yeah, I know Mackendall want to talk. But Mackendall, I'm about to read a book. I'm in my recording studio here. You know how you like to rap? Well, I'm about to do what's called reading. Maybe you've heard of it.
Come on, bro, don't insult me. What's the word?
The book we're reading is the Tao Te Ching, Sacred Wisdom, 81 verses by Lao Tzu, with introduction and commentary. I'm also smoking wonderful indica, and I'm drinking coffee. And we're in a recording studio with about 10 YouTubes, 5 X accounts, 3 Clubhouse accounts. We're doing a recording. This is called working. I know you like to come on here and do conversational hypnosis with yourself and others, but here we're reading from books. That means that we are working on conditioning, suggestions, and programming of ourselves and others. Are you prepared to receive the enlightenment, Mackendall? Earth to Mackendall. Well, did Mackendall leave? I knew he would leave. That guy loves to talk. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we have done it again. We are ready to record. I hope you do enjoy. Gonna put on my Trump hat here. I'm wearing my Campari Negroni t-shirt that I recently got at a Negroni party. Can you believe it? A Negroni party. I had never heard of a Negroni party, but sure enough, I went to my first Negroni party of my life. And ladies and gentlemen, I was not impressed, but it is Negroni, so I don't know why anybody has any standards anymore. But if I go to a Negroni Campari event and I have to pay for the Campari Negroni at a Campari Negroni event, even though they gave me a free t-shirt, was it worth it? Was it worth it? That's what we're here to find out. I hope you enjoy this reading of the Tao Te Ching. This is my morning meditation. Please record this, post it to YouTube and tag me. Post it to Instagram and tag me. Thanks for being here. I hope you enjoy this wisdom and you find it useful programmatically for yourself. I hope the conditioning, the suggestion, the information, the communication is beneficial to you. Let's take the deepest breath of the day. Hold it for 10, not 11. 10, not 9 seconds. Okay, 7 minutes in. We're ready to start. Again, this is a meditation on the Tao Te Ching. Take the deepest breath of the day. Okay, this is the Tao. Verse 1. The Tao that can be told is not the universal Tao. The name that can be named is not the universal name. In the infancy of the universe, there were no names. Naming fragments the mysteries of life into 10,000 things and their manifestations. Yet mysteries and manifestations spring from the same source, the great integrity, which is the mystery within manifestation. The manifestation within mystery. The naming of the unnamed and the unnaming of the named. When these interpenetrations are in full attendance, we will pass the gates of naming notions in our journey towards transcendence. Verse 1 commentary. We are not only reminded here that there is a dichotomy between the unnamed, our intuition, and the named, our reasoning. but also that these two seemingly opposite mind worlds can be integral. Yet mysteries, our intuition, and manifestations, our experience, spring from the same source, the universal Tao, the great integrity, by which Lao Tzu means the wholeness and holiness that is embedded in our nature and in the entire nature of nature. Lao Tzu also reminds us of the mystery within manifestation, our intuition enriching our experience. The manifestation within mystery, our experience enriching our intuition, the naming of the unnamed, the infusion of our reasoning consciousness with our intuitive consciousness, and the unnaming of the named, the dissolution of alienation from our reasoning consciousness. What is implied here is nothing less than the healing of the split between the two hemispheres of our brain, which have become separated, alienated, and at war with each other during the past few thousand years. Practically speaking, this means, for example, the artistification of science, the scientification of art, the ecumenicalization of religion, and the spiritualization of life. In the realm of science, this is a process which nuclear physics, more than any other scientific discipline, has initiated. In a more advanced evolutionary stage, it will mean the transformation of our fixed and objective hierarchical structures into objective, subjective, interactive processes. For example, our present linearly and hierarchically structured languages are likely to transform into a music language, capable of communicating subtle differentiations and simultaneities of experience, reasoning, and feeling. In the realm of art, the great integrity implies the artificification of life, and the gradual disappearance of our old age art closets, such as museums and performance halls. I mean, why go to the museum when you can just go to my YouTube channel, it's really just a circus show. It's the freaks. You got to pay for it though. It's called Clubhouse. In the realm of religion, we can look forward to the ecumenical dissolution of sects, dogmas, and superstitions, since they create a rigor mortis of the mind, emotions, and spirit. In an even more advanced evolutionary stage, we might achieve the spiritualization of every aspect of life and consciousness. This verse welcomes the disappearance of all boundaries among art, science, and religion as the walls and premises of every discipline dissolve into a higher consciousness and an uncompromising integrity of human relations and life experience. Therefore, when these interpenetrations are in full attendance, we will pass the gates of naming notions in our journey toward transcendence. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm not going to read the commentary. I'm just going to read the Tao. I hope you enjoy. Okay, again, this is a YouTube, a Clubhouse, an X experience. Take the deepest breath of the day. This is your meditation for your morning. 15 minutes into the recording. Relativity, verse 2. This is Lao Tzu's Tao Te Ching. We know beauty because there is ugly. We know good because there is evil. being and not being, having and not having, create each other. Difficult and easy, long and short, high and low, define each other. Just as before and after, follow each other. The dialectic of sound gives voice to music, always transforming is from was, is the ancestors of to be. The wise teach without telling, allow without commanding, have without possessing, care without calming, without claiming. In this way, we harvest eternal importance because we never announce it. Okay, we're live streaming this to 8 YouTubes. The bells signify the start and the ending of a verse. That was verse 2. We're going to skip the commentary, move on to verse 3, tempering. Here we go. Tao Te Ching, verse 3, tempering. Overpraising the gifted leads to contentiousness. Overvaluing the precious invites stealing. Craving the desirable loses contentment. The natural person desires without craving and acts without excess. By not doing, everything is done. Okay, this is verse 4, the great integrity. Verse 4, the great integrity. Lao Tzu's Tao Te Ching. The great integrity is an endless abyss, yet it is the inexhaustibly fertile source of the universe. It blunts all sharpness, unties the entangled, and merges with the dust. Hidden but ever present, this parent of the gods, whose child may it be. This is Lao Tzu's Tao Te Ching, the book of the Great Way, the book of changes, Lao Tzu's wisdom. This is verse 5, yin and yang. Verse 5, yin and yang. This is Lao Tzu. Yin and yang aren't sentimental. They exist without moralizing. They act regardless of our wishes within the ebb and flow of every pregnant moment. The space between yin and yang is like a bellows, empty yet infinitely full. The more it yields, the more it fills. Countless words count less than the silent balance between yin and yang. This is Lao Tzu's Tao Te Ching, the Book of Wisdom, or the Great Way. Read by candidate John Kitover. Go to johnforcongress.com. This is verse 6, life's spirit. The spirit of life never dies. It is the infinite gateway to mysteries within mysteries. It is the seed of yin, the spark of yang, always elusive, endlessly available. I need to meet a girl like that. The great mother This is Lao Tzu's Tao Te Ching, the Book of Wisdom, or the Great Way. This is verse 7, modesty. The great integrity, having had no birth, expresses its immortality without pronouncements. The wise are heard through their silence, always self-full through selflessness. This is verse 8, The Highest Good by Lao Tzu in the Tao Te Ching. The highest good. The highest good is like water, nourishing life effortlessly, flowing without prejudice to the lowliest places. It springs from all who nourish their community with a benevolent heart, as deep as an abyss, who are incapable of lies and injustices, who are rooted in the earth, and whose natural rhythms of action played midwife to the highest good of each joyful moment. This is Lao Tzu's Tao Te Ching, the Book of Wisdom, the Great Way. That was verse 8, the highest good. This is verse 9, overfulfillment. Overfulfillment by Lao Tzu, the Tao Te Ching, read by Candidate John. Keep filling your bowl, and it will spill over. Keep sharpening your knife, and it will blunt. Keep hoarding gold in your house, and you will be robbed. Keep seeking approval, and you will be chained. The great integrity leads to actualization, never overfulfillment. That's Lao Tzu's Tao Te Ching, the Book of Wisdom, read by Candidate John. Hope you're enjoying. That was verse 9, overfulfillment. Now we're at verse 10, limitations. Limitations by Lao Tzu, the Tao Te Ching. When embracing the unity of mind, body, emotions, and spiritual being, can we transcend our fragmentations without leaving a trace? When Qigong sculpts sinew suppleness, can our flesh become soft as a newborn babe? Can we cleanse the inner vision, leaving mind in spiritual purity? Can our affairs of the heart and our affairs of the state be so unconditional that we grant unqualified permissibility? Can the gate to yin be opened without inviting yang? It's Lao Tzu's Tao Te Ching. That's the first part of that verse. I'm creating 50-second snippets of the Tao Te Ching on YouTube. Here we go. This is the second part. Can the gate to yin be opened without inviting yang? Can our reasoning mind be purged of coercion, allowing our heart its unfettered joy? Can we act like every other species, seeking no reward, taking no pride, guiding without enslaving? Such is our vision of the great integrity, on whose path we have at last planted both feet, ready to move step by step until we arrive at the great unfettered gate. This is Lao Tzu's Tao Te Ching, read by candidate John. It was verse 10. This is verse 11, the importance of what is not. The importance of what is not. Verse 11, Tao Te Ching by Lao Tzu, read by candidate John. We join 30 spokes to the hub of a wheel, yet it's the center hole that drives the chariot. We shape clay to birth a vessel, yet it's the hollow within that makes it useful. We chisel doors and windows to construct a room, yet it's the inner space that makes it livable. Thus, do we create what is to use what is not? This is the Tao Te Ching by Lao Tzu. That was the importance of what is not. This is the book of the Great Way, the wisdom of Lao Tzu's Tao Te Ching, read by candidate John. Hit that like button if you are enjoying this YouTube clip. These are 50 seconds of Tao Te Ching. This is verse 12, choices. Choices by Lao Tzu, Tao Te Ching. Colors can make us blind. Music can make us deaf. Flavors can destroy our taste. Possessions can close our options. Racing can drive us mad, and its rewards obstruct our peace. Thus, the wise fill the inner gut rather than the eyes, always sacrificing the superficial for the essential. This is Lao Tzu's Tao Te Ching. That was verse 12, choices. Up next, we have verse 13, identity. Identity, the Tao Te Ching by Lao Tzu, verse 13. Accolades can usher in great trouble for your body. Censure can herald misery. Why can favor and disfavor both be harmful? Because both accolades and censure, when filtered through self as ego, always place us in jeopardy. But when the universe becomes yourself, when you love the world as yourself, all reality becomes your haven, reinventing you as your own heaven. Only then will you transcend tense to fully be here now. Only then no harm will the universe proffer, nor you to her, for you will be not you, but she in both, the universal great integrity. This is Lao Tzu's Tao Te Ching, read by candidate John. Go to johnforcongress.com for more, or subscribe to these YouTube clips to this YouTube channel and like these clips. Here we go. This is verse 14, Beyond Reason. That which we look at but cannot see is the invisible. That which we listen to but cannot hear is the inaudible. That which we reach for but cannot grasp is the intangible. Beyond reason, these three merge, contradicting experience. The rising side isn't bright. The setting side isn't dark. Senseless, unnameable. They return to the realms of nothingness. Form without form. Image without image. Indefinable, ineluctable, elusive. Confronting them, you see no beginning. Following them, you see no end. Yet, riding the plowless plow, concede the timeless Tao, harvesting the secret transcendence of the now. Okay, everybody, this is the Tao Te Ching by Lao Tzu, read by Candidate John. Running in the 16th District against Darren LaHood. Go to johnforcongress.com. This is verse 15, linking with ancient times. Okay, hope you're enjoying this. This is your morning meditation. We're 31 minutes into the book club. I have a friend who told me that he's like, I want to hang out, meet some girls, and get drunk. And I said, well, have you heard of the book club? I said, because I'm never going to drink with you because I don't want to hang out with you because you're a total lame-tard. But I will invite you to my book club. And he goes, what's the book club? And I said, well, what you do is you read a book for 10 minutes to people. He goes, I have to buy a book. I said, all right. Well, get yourself a nonfiction wisdom book. And then I sent him a picture of a book of maxims and aphorisms. And I don't even think he knows what those are. But I hope he joins the book club and he reads to us because he is in need of some reprogramming. This poor bastard is, I don't know how he does what he does, but he makes a living working with Salesforce and working on code. So he's not stupid, but I gave him The Way of Shuangzi. I don't think he ever read it, but friends, neighbors, fellow citizens, countrymen, I need you to go to johnforcongress.com and I need you to click on the blog section, go to the antidote page, and then send me $10. It's small little micro donations like that which help kick this campaign into first gear or third gear. We're at 1,130 signatures. We need to get to 1,500. I should be doing an onboarding right now with Roberto, who texted the campaign. But I don't know. I'm going to do a whole new batch of Craigslist posts. And I'm going to try to get one petition, 15 signatures in one day, and have it mailed to me the same day. That's the goal for every new onboarding. Is you have to print one ballot right now, or one petition right now, get 10 signatures, and mail it within 3 hours. That's the goal, is get off of Clubhouse, print this petition, text me a picture of the petition, then immediately go get 10 signatures, get an envelope, put my name and address on, put your return address, put a forever infinity stamp on there, and send us one petition within the next 3 hours. That's the goal for every new onboarding. I spent way too much time not having achievable, actionable items for people who volunteer for the campaign or want to get paid. And so basically, proof is in the pudding. And we want that pudding within 3 hours. Okay, we're going to continue reading the Tao Te Ching by Lao Tzu. Hope you're enjoying. Before we go any further, I'm going to play the Chinese flute. Name of this song is Lao Tzu. Okay, this is Lao Tzu's Tao Te Ching, verse 15, linking with ancient times. Recorded by Candidate John, live on YouTube, live on X, live on Clubhouse. Here we go. In ancient times, the people knew the great integrity with subtlety and profundity. Because they are so unfathomable to us, we can describe the ancients only with great effort. They were cautious as those crossing an icy stream, wary as those surrounded by dangers, dignified as guests, yielding as melting ice, innocent as virgin wood, open and broad as valleys, merging freely as muddy water. But today, who can remain patient while the mud so gradually clears? Who can remain still while the moment for action so slowly emerges? Who? We observers of the great integrity, who in our times, like those ancients, when never seeking fulfillment, are never unfulfilled. Okay, this is Lao Tzu's Tao Te Ching, 50-second clips, 50-second shorts here on YouTube Live, also on X, on Clownhouse. We're making great time of it. We're at 39 minutes, 20 minutes to go. That was called Linking with Ancient Times, verse 15. This is verse 16, Tranquility. Allow the heart to empty itself of all turmoil. Retrieve the utter tranquility of mind from which you issued. Although all forms are dynamic, and we all grow and transform, each of us is compelled to return to our root. Our root is quietude. To fully return to our root is to be enlightened. Never to experience tranquility is to act blindly, a sure path to disaster. To know tranquility is to embrace all. To embrace all is to be just. Justice is the foundation for wholeness. Wholeness is the great integrity. The great integrity is the infinite fulfilling itself. Welcome, Scooby. I'm going on a date from a dating app called Hinge. I know you know what it is. She's a liberal. Her nose is pierced, but she's cute. 24 and nearly 6 foot tall. We're going to see if she can touch her toes. Okay, that was verse 16. We're reading Tao Te Ching. This is verse 17. Leaders. 41 minutes in. Here we go. There are 4 types of leaders. The best leader is indistinguishable from the will of those who selected her. The next best leader enjoys the love and praise of the people. The poor leader rules through coercion and fear. And the worst leader is a tyrant, despised by the multitudes who are the victims of his power. What a world of difference among these leaders. In the last 2 types, what is done is without sincerity or trust, only coercion. In the second type, there is a harmony between the leader and the people. In the first type, whatever is done happens so naturally that no one presumes to take the credit. Verse 17, leaders, we're reading Lao Tzu's Tao Te Ching, the Book of the Great Way, of the Wisdom of China. This is Candidate John. Go to johnforcongress.com. We are 42 minutes into the Tao Te Ching. That was verse 17, leaders. Verse 18, the paradoxes of abandoning the great integrity. Here we go. The Paradoxes of Abandoning the Great Integrity by Lao Tzu, the Tao Te Ching, read by Candidate John. When the great integrity was abandoned, humanity and justice appeared. When knowledge and teachers appeared, hypocrisy was their inevitable accompaniment. When relationships lost their harmony, filial piety and parental affection were suddenly birthed. When a nation succumbs to chaos and corruption, patriotic politicians are always at hand announcing themselves. It's verse 18 of Lao Tzu's Tao Te Ching, the paradoxes of abandoning the great integrity. Again, that last verse is, when a nation succumbs to chaos and corruption, patriotic politicians are always at hand announcing themselves. Okay, this is verse 19, the paradoxes of returning to the great integrity. Here we go. Banish the intellectual, discard knowledge. We will all benefit 100-fold. Eliminate all institutions of charity and justice. We can then return to our natural love for each other. Let everyone be released from our addictions to shrewdness and profit. Then thievery will disappear. These 3 negate the great integrity, but to negate these negations is insufficient. 3 affirmations are also necessary. The first is to embrace simplicity and integrity. The second is to consume only the needs of our body and soul. The third is to allow our love and concern for others to define our essentiality. This is Lao Tzu's Tao Te Ching, the Book of Changes, the Great Way, the Wisdom of China, read by Candidate John Kitover, the 16th District of Illinois. I really like that one. That's called The Paradoxes of Returning to the Great Integrity, verse 19. This is verse 20. The sadness of superficialities and the unfulfilled great integrity. It is sometimes deeply depressing to be a rebel, knowing that we can never share most people's way of life, nor can they share ours. Schooling stuffs the brains of our children with trivia. The more the trivia, the more their anxieties. They indoctrinate the children to believe that the consequences are grave when they fail to distinguish good from evil, and agreement from disagreement. What gross nonsense. To escape the rubbish of all this so-called knowledge, in the winter, people run to the great feasts of lamb, pork, and ox. They climb high in the mountains to view the first signs of spring. We are so different. Having no desire for the trivialities, nor for their compensations, we are like infants, not yet knowing how to laugh, ever wandering and having no home to which we may return. While most people are obsessed with superficialities, we feel empty. While most people feel they know so much, we feel simple-minded. While most people believe they live happily in the best of all possible worlds, we are despaired to witness this world. Okay, that's part 1. We're going to finish up the rest of this verse. This is Lao Tzu's Tao Te Ching, read by Candidate John. It is so painful to know that we will always be outsiders, endlessly moving like the ocean, aimlessly blowing like the wind. While we fear what others fear, we don't treasure what others treasure. Our treasure is the great integrity. However, until it is shared, it will not be the universal integrity, for we are part of them, and they are part of us. Okay, this is verse 21. The great integrity is a paradox. We're at 49 minutes. This is Lao Tzu's Tao Te Ching. The great integrity is a paradox. It is inherent in the universe, yet its form is so elusive. It is the vital essence of every entity, yet nothing announces its essential character. The great integrity was apparent before time, space, and matter appeared to separate. How can we remind and re-infuse ourselves with this very touchstone of all essentialities and connections? By refusing time, space, and matter with the spiritualization of our materiality and with the materialization of our spirituality, then, when our dualities and numeralities become blurred and forgotten, the great integrity will re-emerge in forms of such incredible depths and dimensions of enlightenment, precisely because our temporary, fragmentary consciousness created a multi-millennial amnesia. A multi-millennial amnesia. Oh, fuck. That's what we're dealing with here. Lao Tzu. Again, that was the great integrity as a paradox. Okay, this is verse 22. Celebrate paradox. No thing remains itself. Each prepares the path to its opposite. To be ready for wholeness, first be fragmented. To be ready for rightness, first be wronged. To be ready for fullness, first be empty. To be ready for renewal, first be worn out. To be ready for success, first fail. To be ready for doubt, first be certain. Because the wise observe the world through the great integrity, they know they are not knowledgeable. Because they do not perceive only through their perceptions, they do not judge this right and that wrong. Because they do not delight in boasting, they are appreciated. Because they do not announce their superiority, they are acclaimed. Because they never compete, no one can compete with them. Verily, fragmentation prepares the path to wholeness, the mother of all origins and realizations. This is Lao Tzu's Tao Te Ching, the Book of the Great Way, Wisdom, Philosophy of China. Lao Tzu, the old man, the old young boy man. Okay, that was Celebrate Paradox, verse 22. Okay, this is going to be my last one. It's called Sincerity, verse 23. Then we'll take a break. This is verse 23, Sincerity. Lao Tzu's Tao Te Ching. Speak few words, but say them. Ooh, those are the Blackhawks flying over Chicago. Verse 23, Sincerity. Speak few words, but say them with quietude and sincerity. They will be long-lasting. For a raging wind cannot blow all morning, nor a sudden rainstorm last throughout the day. Why is this so? Because it is the nature of the sky and the earth to be frugal. Even human beings cannot alter this nature without suffering the consequences. When we sincerely follow the ethical path, we become one with it. When we become one with the ethical path, it embraces us. When we completely lose our way, we become one with loss. When we become one with loss, loss embraces us. When we sincerely follow the great integrity, we become one with it. When we are one with the great integrity, it embraces us. But when nothing is done sincerely, no thing and no one embraces us. Okay, this is Lao Tzu's Tao Te Ching, the Book of Changes, the great way, the wisdom and philosophy of Lao Tzu from China. Okay, that was the 23rd verse. The 24th verse is called Avoiding Voids. I really like this translation. There's so much in the commentary. I would love to read all the commentary, but there's 81 verses. The last one is called The Paradoxes of Life. This is a great little book. This is Sacred Wisdom, the Tao Te Ching. Hope you're enjoying it. Okay, I'm going to play the flute, take a little break. I'll play some classical Chinese music, and we will come back. We're going to make this an hour and 10-minute special. This is Lao Tzu's Tao Te Ching, read by John. Candidate John. Go to johnforcongress.com. Also, I want to thank B Computer for being here. Thank you, B Computer. Please create a calendar event for today at 12 p.m. Central Standard Time. September or October 2nd with candidate John on onboarding utilizing the Tao Te Ching. Okay, I'm going to play a little copyright-free Chinese music. Gonna retire to the commode. Take the Cosby Kids all the way to the beach. This is candidate John. We have taken control of Clubhouse. We are no longer under the hypnosis of a bunch of neurotics. I lost access to this really good YouTube account that I have because I don't own the domain name anymore. It's kind of upsetting, but we can live with it. Yeah, everything can trigger a copyright. So I'm just not going to play any music. We're going to do a silent meditation here. I'll be back. I'll be back. Okay, everybody, we are back. Thank you for coming. I knew you were going to come. So glad you came. And I hope you come again. Keep them coming, as they like to say. As the pimp said to his hoe, keep them coming. Okay, we're going to keep reading Dao De Jing. Thank you for being here. We're now at over an hour. If you're recording this, Chris, I appreciate it. If not, no worries. We are crushing it at 23 little shorts here. Here's a sample. The name that be named is not the universal name. In the infancy of the universe, there were no names. Naming fragments the mysteries of life into 10,000 things and their manifestations. Yet mysteries and manifestations spring from the same source. The great integrity, which is the mystery within manifestation. The manifestation within mystery. The name that be named is not. So those are all at private. Completely lose our way. We become one with loss. When we become one with loss, loss embraces us. When we sincerely follow the great integrity, we become one with it. When we are one with the great integrity, it embraces us. But when nothing is done sincerely, no thing and no one embraces us. Mm-hmm. We lose our...
I just sent you an invite to Sword 2, and I think it'd be great for your campaign. You know, as one of your campaign advisors. Great for content production.
Just create something and post it to your X account, and I will retweet it. I need you to create.
So the problem is though, like, I can't use your face. You have to be the one using your face. It doesn't allow me to upload photos of someone with human qualities. It blocks that.
It does. Don't worry about it. I need you to create anything of value. It could be a query like how much is the United States government borrowing every day, every single month, every single year. What is the estimated national debt in 2030? What is the estimated national payments of interest in 2030? Any kind of calculations and content that you post on X, especially even the Borla visit to the White House with Kennedy in the background, like any question or query just plug it in there. I will retweet it. But I need, after I complete these DAO videos, one of my primary to-dos is to try to continue onboarding people for petition signatures. And the whole goal is to just get somebody to literally get 10 signatures in 3 hours and mail that fucking petition to me. So, like, if I were to really analyze my ultimate to-dos, I do appreciate your suggestion, but if you could at least do some preliminary work so I could retweet it, because I have other physical paper petition priority issues in my life. We're at a good number.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I'll post something. I'll be right back.
Okay, cool. Okay, we're gonna listen to a few more of these little recordings. Here we go.
Eyes observe the world through the great integrity. They know they are not knowledgeable because they do not perceive only through their perceptions. They do not judge this right and that wrong. Because they do not delight in boasting, they are appreciated. Because they do not announce their superiority, they are acclaimed. Because they never compete, no one can compete with them. Verily, fragmentation prepares the path to wholeness, the mother of all origins and realizations. Eyes observe the world through the great merging freely as muddy water. But today, who can remain patient while the mud so gradually clears? Who can remain still while the moment for action so slowly emerges? Who? We observers of the great integrity, who in our times, like those ancients, when never seeking fulfillment, are never unfulfilled.
It's a lot of videos, 23 videos. 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, 24.
$350 billion, not sustainable, $350 billion. And we have a war that should have never started. But we're not doing that anymore, so just want.
Zen pupils take a vow that even if they are killed by their teacher, they intend to learn Zen. Usually they cut a finger and seal their resolution with blood. In time, the vow has become a mere formality. For this reason, a pupil who died by the hand of Aikido was made to appear a martyr. Aikido had become a severe teacher. His pupils feared him. One of them on duty striking the gong to tell the time of day missed his beats when his eye was attracted by a pupil passing the temple gate. At that moment, Aikido, who was directly behind him, hit him with a stick, and the shock happened to kill him. The pupil's guardian, hearing of the accident, went directly to Aikido. Knowing that he was not to blame, he praised the master for his severe teaching. Aikido's attitude was just the same as if the pupil was still alive. After this took place, he was able to produce under his guidance more than 10 enlightened successors, a very unusual number. Ryokan devoted his life to the study of Zen. One day he heard that his nephew, despite the admonitions of relatives, was spending his money on a courtesan. Inasmuch as the nephew had taken Ryokan's place in managing the family estate and the property was in danger of being dissipated, the relatives asked Ryokan to do something about it. Ryokan had to travel a long way to visit his nephew, whom he had not seen for many years. now I cannot show it to you, replied the other. When can you show it to me? Asked Bankei. It arises unexpectedly, replied the student. Then concluded Bankei, it must not be your own true nature. If it were, you could show it to me at any time. When you were born, you did not have it, and your parents did not give it to you. Think that over. Hogan, a Chinese Zen teacher, lived alone in a small temple in the country. One day, 4 traveling monks appeared and asked if they might make a fire in his yard to warm themselves. While they were building the fire, Hogan heard them arguing about subjectivity and objectivity. He joined them and said, "There is a big stone. Do you consider it to be inside or outside your mind?" One of the monks replied, "From the Buddhist viewpoint, everything is an objectification of mind. So I would say that the stone is inside my mind." "Your head must feel very heavy," observed Hogan, "if you were carrying around a stone like that in your mind." A rich man asked Sengai to write something for the continued prosperity of his family so that it might be treasured from generation to generation. Sengai obtained a large sheet of paper and wrote, "Father dies, son dies, grandson dies." The rich man became angry. "I asked you to write something for the happiness of my family. Why do you make such a joke as this?" "No joke is intended," explained Sengai. "If before you yourself die, your son should die, this would grieve you greatly. If your grandson should pass away before your son, both of you would be broken-hearted. If your family, generation after generation, passes away in the order I have named, it will be the natural course of life. I call this real prosperity." A woman of Nagasaki named Kame was one of the few makers of incense burners in Japan. Such a burner is a work of art to be used only in a tea room or before a family shrine. Kame, whose father before her had been such an artist, was fond of drinking. She also smoked and associated with men most of the time. Whenever she made a little money, she gave a feast inviting artists, poets, carpenters, workers, men of many vocations and avocations. In their association, she evolved her designs. Kame was exceedingly slow in creating, but when her work was finished, it was always a masterpiece. Her burners were treasured in homes whose womenfolk never drank, smoked, or associated freely with men. The mayor of Nagasaki once requested Kame to design an incense burner for him. She delayed doing so until almost half a year had passed. At that time, the mayor, who had been promoted to office in a distant city, visited her. He urged Kame to begin work on his burner. At last, receiving the inspiration, Kame made the incense burner. After it was completed, she placed it upon a table. She looked at it long and carefully. She smoked and drank before it as if it were her own company. All day she observed it. At last, picking up a hammer, Kame smashed it to bits. She saw it was not the perfect creation mind demanded. When Bankei was preaching at Ryomon Temple, a Shinshu priest who believed in salvation through the repetition of the name of the Buddha of love was jealous of his large audience and wanted to debate with him. Bankei was in the midst of her talk when the priest appeared, but the fellow made such a disturbance that Bankei stopped his discourse and asked about the noise. "The founder of our sect," boasted the priest, "had such miraculous powers that he held a brush in his hand on one bank of the river. His attendant held up a paper on the other bank, and the teacher wrote the holy name of Amida through the air. Can you do such a wonderful thing?" Bankei replied lightly, "Perhaps your fox can perform that trick, but that is not the manner of Zen. My miracle is that when I feel hungry, I eat. When I feel thirsty,
Time for launch.
Completely lose our way, we become one with loss. When we become one with loss, loss embraces us. When we sincerely follow the great integrity, we become one with it. When we are one with the great integrity, it embraces us. But when nothing is done sincerely, no thing and no one embraces us. Okay, this is Lao Tzu's Tao Te Ching, the Book of Changes, the Great Way, the wisdom and philosophy.
I feel like maybe we could shut it down. Alright, we're gonna end this, everybody. Go to johnforcongress.com. This has been the Tao Te Ching, first 23 verses. Go to johnforcongress.com.
It's another great example of where they surrendered that monopoly.
So, okay, if the state